Hello, Steph. So you're putting together a public consultation for the ethical sponsorship policy. So can you tell me why you're doing this?
Yeah, sure. See, we want to make sure that we're representing our membership and their views after there were some concerns raised at this year's RSECon over one of our sponsors. So we do have a draft ethical sponsorship policy, but we want to have membership be able to decide what should and shouldn't be in our list of avoidance criteria, essentially sort of what sectors or areas of work do we want to avoid getting sponsorship from and other sort of other interactions.
So what are the stages of this process?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be lengthy, I think, to sort of do it properly and sensitively. So the first stage, it will be a survey sent out for 3 weeks, and this will cover which areas people want to have included and why, but also essentially what the thresholds mean within like a yes, no, or abstain vote. How do we actually know when that should become a binding list in there? That's the first stage. So we find out essentially what people want to be included and how do we understand what that vote would mean. The trustees will then summarize this, check back with the people who answered the form to see if we've grouped different different but overlapping areas into one. Like, does that still capture the intent, or actually are they more specific about certain things? We'll then put that out there and have a second survey that will collect the arguments against the summarized areas. And then after those 3 weeks, trustees will then summarize and publish this. And then there'll be a final membership vote for 3 weeks online, the same way we do sort of trustee elections. Um, and that will be sort of the binding vote that people will work off both the published summarized arguments for and against, and the threshold that's sort of being worked out.
So who can take part in each of these three stages?
Yeah, so I think like we'll definitely be targeting our membership in general, but I think for the first two surveys, so the arguments for and arguments against, essentially, I think anyone can fill those in. That's fine to sort of gather that information. For the final vote, because it is a vote on our exclusion criteria that will make it into the policy, that will be a members only vote. So Society RSC members are the only ones who'll be able to vote in that.
So if people miss the initial survey and kind of want to add other areas afterwards, is there a way or a process to do this?
Yeah, I think it's a tricky one with sort of the timelines and being able to actually book in sponsorship for RSECon 26. I think once the collected and summarized list has been published, it'll be very difficult to add that into this current round of voting. But if you do find yourself in that position, drop us an email. We can always see what we can do. Um, I'll say that in general, after we've got sort of a final policy that's been voted in, part of that is that new items can be added or we can alter that existing list. If 10% of the membership come to us with a change that they would like, and then it would be exactly the same as a extraordinary general meeting where you have to have 10% of the membership asking for that change, and then we'd take it to the same sort of voting process as you would in the initial stages.
So is there anywhere our community can discuss this policy in a more informal manner?
Yeah, I think it'd be really good to see discussion of this. So there is a Slack channel, ethical sponsorship policy, which we'll link to, and we'll also be encouraging RSE groups to start hosting discussions after the point where we have those summarized survey results. I think it's probably useful to at least know what we're discussing rather than trying to do that in the abstract. And we'll create some talking points for those discussions to consider, just because I think there's some nuance there which, yeah, a naive perspective just may not necessarily tease out. And we trust everyone, as with sort of everything on our sort of events and Slack channel, to honor our code of conduct, be kind to each other, even while you may disagree. And there are definitely some RSCs which can't publicly defend sort of their positions or certain areas. So, please keep that in mind.
Thank you very much, Steph. So just a reminder to our community, sponsorship is a very important thing to us. So normally it takes up around half the budget for running the RSE conference. So, it is a discussion that will affect our society. So please do take part and vote. Thank you very much.
Cool. Cheers.